Good morning, everyone. As you can see, I'm here in a bit of a different location today. That's right, I'm at Glen Smiles Dental Clinic in Glen Waverley with Dr Sachin Gamage. Throughout the next few episodes, we'll be talking about all things to do with teeth and how to keep your pearly whites happy and healthy. Without further ado, let's get started. Thank you for joining us, Dr Gamage.
Nice to be here.
So let's start by talking about tooth sensitivity. What exactly is tooth sensitivity and why do some people experience sudden pain when they drink hot or cold drinks?
Yeah, so tooth sensitivity can be localized or it could be all the teeth. Usually if it's localized, it's probably due to a cavity, could be due to a crack in a tooth or old filling that's starting to break down. So that would cause a sensitivity in a localized tooth, but you can also have sensitivity on a lot of teeth. It can be mainly due to the enamel layer getting worn out, usually due to acidic drinks, like tooth wear, which is very common. Sometimes people have gum recessions and gum disease that can lead to all the teeth being sensitive. So those are some of the very common reasons that teeth can be sensitive.
And are these causes common in both adults and young people, or are there specific causes that are more common in adults, like myself, who experience sometimes tooth sensitivity when I drink cold drinks?
Yeah, it's probably more common in adults because with kids, it's less likely that they'll have an issue. Usually in a kid, if they have a problem, it's probably due to a cavity and things like that. More like generalized sensitivity is much more common in older people, especially when the gums recede. So the root of the tooth then gets exposed and that surface is more soft compared to the top part of the tooth. And if people are having acidic drinks and things like that, it erodes the tooth. Sometimes brushing too hard or like grinding teeth, those things lead to common sensitivity. Also, it's very common that people have cavities and like fillings breaking down that they're not aware of, which can lead to sort of localized pain. Generally, if teeth hurt to hot things, that's not ideally a good thing. It's quite common, like you might have some sensitivity to very cold things, but yeah.
I see. Now, you talked about diet before, Dr. Gamage.
Yeah.
What type of food specifically can impact or worsen the issue of tooth sensitivity?
Yeah, I think like acidic things are very common. So I think mainly drinks. People don't realize how acidic a lot of our drinks can be. It can be even like tea, black coffee and things, but also like soft drinks. A lot of people have a lot of soft drinks, fruit juices and things like that. So that often is quite acidic. Because the thing is, anything below the acidity of about 4.5 pH starts to damage the enamel away. And especially if you're having it like, throughout the day, multiple times throughout the day, it can affect that.
Now, Dr. Gamage, you mentioned that some foods and the diet can also impact tooth sensitivity and potentially make it worse.
Yeah.
What type of food specifically should someone avoid?
So I think acidic things are the main thing when it comes to sensitivity. So like a lot of our drinks are quite acidic. So it'll be mainly drinks that will be the number one thing. It can be black coffee, black tea, but also like soft drinks are very common, fruit juices. So people usually sip on this throughout the day, and it's more the frequency that's the issue. So if you're having it constantly throughout the day, it can basically erode the enamel. It takes a little bit of the layer off every time, and if it happens, over many years constantly, it can erode the enamel away. So that would be the number one thing that leads to tooth wear. And other things could be acidic foods as well. Sometimes like lollies and things like that can be quite acidic. But also one thing that probably people don't realize is some curries can be quite acidic as well. So even though like usually when things are very spicy and watery, they can have a certain degree of acidity which can impact the teeth as well.
Now, Dr. Gamage, other than avoiding these acidic foods and drinks, what other preventative measures can people take to ensure that they don't experience the problems caused by tooth sensitivity?
Yeah, I think if someone has to have acidic things like drinking through a straw, limiting the duration. So some people sip on these drinks throughout the day, which is actually much worse than drinking it quickly. So it's not the quantity that you drink, it's actually the frequency and how long things are in contact with their teeth. So that would be one factor. Drinking a lot of water would be beneficial as well. Like if you're having something acidic, having water in between or finishing off with some water would definitely help. And I think like a common thing related to that is like dry mouth. A lot of people have dry mouth. If you have a dry mouth and then you're drinking acidic things, it's a lot worse than if you have like good saliva flow. Common situation would be when people play a lot of sports. So people can be quite active these days. They may have, go to the gym and then all of a sudden they drink a sport drink rather than water. That can be more damaging to the teeth than having something acidic, while they have good saliva flow. So I guess hydration would be one thing that can be used to prevent.
Well, that was super insightful for me, Dr. Gamage. It brings us to the end of our segment today. Thank you so much for joining and sharing your insights.
Yeah, thank you, and see you next time.
That's right. We hope to see you again in our next episode as we discuss all things to do with your pearly whites.